right, now, with this intensity idea, it varies from dog to dog to dog. How intense? Let's say, for example, with our little corgi, let's say the aggression we have seen displayed towards dogs, she also displays towards intruders, which we like. But she tends to go overboard.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you? She tends to go overboard. That means I'm going to put the brakes on her aggression sooner than later. Let's say what I hear from your dog sounds more playful, which is true on both counts. So she's sounding off, likes to hear the sound of her voice, but she's not really intent on destruction. I'll give her wider parameters, more freedoms, a looser rein to express herself. I can't with Corgi. She's serious. She'll get carried away with herself much more quickly than this dog will. So I can allow and actually encourage more vocalizing from her. I would allow her very little bit and then shut her down quickly. In both cases, they were barking at approved targets. I will encourage her to bark more at an approved target, shut her down quickly at an approved target. An approved target, yes ma'am.
And the shutting down.
Yes.
Okay. Mailman, good example.
Perfect example. Now do you, go ahead.
The dogs aren't on a leash, of course.
They're not on the leash, but they're in the house.
They're in the house.
Gotcha.
They're very well voice controlled.
Good deal. Your mailman comes or approaches.
Mailman comes, if it's a regular mailman,
Yeah.
there's and I say, okay, we know he's here, thank you. You know,
Alright.
the mail's here.
Gotcha.
And that's it. Strange mailman, it's like and it's like the de-escalation. You don't have.
Oh, you don't have that shut off switch anymore.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't have, yeah.
Very, very.
And by not having the leash on the dog in the house, which we used to do,
Yes.
when
Here's
you
what I'm
do
saying.
infraction, is
Here's
it
that
going
situation. Let's talk about it. This is very important. Now, what she's described is, I think, a realistic encounter because we're not in control of the distractions, the targets, the stimuli in our environment like we want to be. That's why setting up training scenarios is so important. Now, remember I said about the bed bugs? If I go into a real hotel and do a search, do I know what bed bugs are? Do I know what's sterile? Did I plant? No, I'm not in control of any of that. So my dog, through training, needs to be prepared to handle as many variations in the environment as possible. One of the variations you have is the change in mailman. When the strange mailman comes, the stakes are much higher because this is really a different fellow. He's not the familiar intruder that comes to the edge of the perimeter or the property moves on. This guy may be potentially dangerous, and what that does is raise the stakes, which means the dogs are saying to you, I heard you, I'd like to, this is real. This is a real threat to me and property and you. I must stick to my guns. If I were in your situation, and I notice, because let's say it's the regular mailman, 9 days out of 10, or however many days it would be, all right. I'm not going to keep the leash on my off-leash trained dog all those days to prepare for that one, probably. In realistic terms, I probably would not. The day comes, it's a strange mailman, and they are carrying on. I do have, and will have, my leash hanging close to the door, on the little end table. So my dogs are barking. I can tell by their voice, I can tell by the truck, it's the strange mailman. I don't say anything to my dogs until I get the leash on. They're barking and turning on now. As quickly as I can, I want leash on. Good. Leash on. First thing out of my mouth, what good little watchdogs. Second thing out of my mouth,
That's enough.
that's right. And you said, but the strange mailman, they will not. I understand. So when you say it in a normal tone, don't say it louder because it's a real guy.
You don't want to.
No, we're saying we like the rules we set up. We're not changing the rules because you prefer to do it a different way. We're going to say it in a very calm fashion. That's not. And they said, that's a strange mailman, I can't stop. That's why I got these leashes on. So I'm going to show you right away. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Where you at, Mom? It's enough, remember? Yeah, okay, we're cool. Very nice. Because you can't do is change the rules. You see, with the strange mailman, that's what I use. I'll say, it's enough. That's enough. Come on now. I'll use the leashes and say enough, and they still bark. Then they say, really? It is a different game with the strange mailman. It is not the same game it is with the familiar mailman. When we train our protection dogs, our police dogs, we have to show those dogs that when it feels real, when I have a strange man come in as the decoy called the bad guy, the rules are the same. I'm going to tell you to hold the man and bark. Don't touch him. Don't bite him. When he becomes offensive or dangerous, tries to escape, bite him until I say, stop biting. You said it was a strange man. He was much more intense. I'm prepared though. I make sure I have leashes and collars in place. I make sure through my training I have prepared all I can prepare with familiar decoys. So when the strange bad guy shows up and I know I'm going to be more intensive with my dog, I've got all the tools in place I need to make this turn out the way I envision. Clean, neat, and if it's not that way, I've got the consequences to go with it. That is dog training. Because the truth is, with this bed bug searching, I never know what I'm walking into. So I've got to know my dog knows his job. And to prepare for that, I have to have realistic-like search areas before I take him into the real thing. So he's used to the motel smell and feel. He's used to the room arrangement. And he's used to maybe old bed bugs were here. Now they're gone because they were exterminated. Got to get used to all that. How do you prepare for that? You say, man, I have to work in those areas. You say, so when you do your real searches, no, this is still training. I have to train my dog, prepare my dog for real life by training in realistic scenarios. That's what I do with the mailman the best I could, if I could arrange that. So how do you arrange that? I call up my friend, strange friend who only comes over once a blue moon. I said, hey, I got a couple of beers over here if you'll come on over. About 6 o'clock tonight. Leashes wouldn't be on the door, they could be on, they're hanging by the door. Not a strange mailman, but it is a strange man. I said, no, so would you wear that rain hat you wear that kind of flops over your face? Would you avoid knock on the door and just rattle the door instead? Would you look in the window first before you come in? I swear to you, Lord. And honestly, you're going to find out your dog, since they're responsible of the familiar mailman, it's going to be quick change around for them. They're going to find out that with the strange mailman, the rules are the same. You know how they found it out? You proved it to them. Those are very good questions.